Hello, potential new subscribers. Welcome to my first of hopefully many videos. The reason why I started this channel was I wanted to cover things that I like, namely anime and manga. I also want to cover series that I find don't get a lot of fanfare or attention, such as the series I'm going to cover today. Well, we might as well get into it. The first series I want to cover is one that, as I said before, doesn't get a lot of fanfare or attention from the community. And that series is Bakuman. So by now you're probably thinking, why should I watch this series? Well, don't worry viewer. I'm about to hopefully convince you why you should watch Bakuman. Bakuman was created by Obata Takashi and Oba Sugumi, the same team who brought us Death Note. Yes, that Death Note. Published in 2008 in Shonen Jump magazine, it has 176 chapters, or 3 seasons of the anime, with all 3 seasons having 25 episodes. Now let's get into the juicy stuff. Here's a question. Have you ever watched or read Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, or the legendary Dragon Ball Z? Yes? How? Well, for the next question, have you ever wondered what it took to make these series? The blood, sweat and tears that goes into making them? The lifestyle that those creators have to put up with to bring us these wonderful works of fiction? Well, ladies and gentlemen, wonder no more. Bakuman is the series that will answer those questions with also a splash of comedy, romance, and drama thrown in for good measure. Now let's get to the story, shall we? Bakuman is a story of 2 high school kids, Moritaka Mashiro and Akito Takagi. Both of them have a dream of creating a manga that can reach the #1 ranked position in the world-renowned magazine, Shonen Jump. And eventually, if all goes well, they also want an anime adaptation. Now by now, you're probably thinking, this series doesn't sound that interesting. Why should I watch it? Well, if you're a fan of Battle Shonen, this series takes that element, but instead of punching, kicking, or shooting energy blasts, it's about getting better at writing, drawing, and using your imagination to create unique stories and really fantastic world building. And the goal, obviously, is to captivate readers weekly and climb in the reader polls. But there is one catch. There are other mangaka that they have to compete against each week, and the ever-present threat of cancellation. On a side note, throughout the story, many of the characters will explain things such as the intricacies of making manga, dealing with the editors or editors-in-chief at Shonen Jump, and some people could be concerned that there could be a lot of information, a lot of technicalities, and that could, hamper or weigh the series down. But don't worry, I found Bakuman does a great job of giving bite-sized pieces of information as each episode goes along, and it wasn't overwhelming for me personally, so I feel if that is a concern for you, do not worry, you will be alright. Now, we might as well get on to the characters. And the characters are truly the greatest strength of Bakuman. Right from the beginning, you become fully invested in seeing Mashiro and Takagi, accomplishing their dreams as well as the depressing lows they go through, and there are a lot of lows. The other supporting characters get a lot of time to shine as well. Unlike some other series which have a habit of forgetting the side characters, he's looking at you, Naruto, and putting them on the back burner. Now, let's meet a few standouts that I feel really stood out to me. I'm only going to talk about 4 here because I don't want to spoil anyone. I want to keep people as fresh as possible in this series. So we'll look at just four, as I said before. The first one I want to cover is Miho Azuki. Miho is the primary love interest of Mashiro. She also has a dream. Her dream is basically becoming a voice actress and wants to eventually voice the main heroine in Mashiro's manga once it gets anime adaptation. I do want to expand on one thing with the Miho character, is that she isn't in the series as much as I personally would have liked, and I've seen other ones make comments about similar complaints. Especially the believability of the relationship that Mashiro and Mio have. This is definitely, to me, a flaw in the series that I acknowledge, but again, it is like that because of plot reasons. But again, it's still a bit bothersome, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Next character I want to cover is Kaya Miyoshi.
高木は今から私と結婚考えてる？全然。お前、ひってえ。今の話の流れだったら間違ってないだろう。速攻否定はムカつく。
She is the best friend to Mio, but as the series goes along, she kind of becomes friends with Mashiro and Takagi. Miho, for me, is easily one of the most underrated characters in the series, personally. It's what I've kind of noticed anecdotally. I really do like Miyoshi. She's a funny, fun-loving character, who's always willing to, give support to her friends. And as the series goes along, she not only supports, Takagi and Mashiro in their endeavors, she actually takes a very active role in becoming an assistant. This is, dealing with, getting art supplies, drawing backgrounds, cleaning up mistakes or whatever it may be, even helping write bits of the story. It just shows how that character developed as the series went along, and was very much appreciative. Now we're going to go to the two big ones for me, personally.
Takagi-kun to Mashiro-kun ne.
あ、はい。
週刊少年
ついに。
もう一度読ませてもらうね。
Akira Hattori. Easily, by far, one of the best characters of Bakuman. You can debate me on this if you want to. I'm more than willing to have that debate. Akira is one of the editors who works at Shonen Jump. Basically, what happens is that he was one of the first characters to notice the talent that Mashiro and Takagi had. And he kind of acts as a bit of a mentor or older brother type character to the two of them. I'm kind of thinking of Jiraiya Roshi, Itachi character. Don't worry, he's not a pervert or anything like that. To me personally, Hattori is easily one of my favorite characters, and as I said before, among the most important as well. Now we go to the big character. My favorite, I think a lot of people's favorite character, Eiji Nizuma.
足の木先生、お久しぶりです。
お久しぶりです。こんばんは。
Nizuma is the rival of Mashiro and Takagi. He's a genius, absolute genius. He has been creating manga ever since he was 7 years old. Crazy, impressive feat. Another great feat he has is he can create new manga at the drop of a hat, something that Mashiro and Takagi can't. It actually is quite difficult for them to do that. Another uncanny ability he has, which makes him even more threatening, if you would, is that he can predict what series will do well and which will not. He's also quite eccentric. I've often described him as a whirlwind of crazy who will make you laugh and question what the hell is going on. I love characters like that. I think reasons manga is so popular is because of eccentric characters like him, so the more the merrier for me personally. And on a side note with Nizuma, I don't want to spoil too much because I want you to experience it firsthand, is that there's a bit of fan speculation involving Nizuma. A lot of people have theorized that Nizuma is based on Ichiro Oda. Now, if anyone's not familiar with who Oda Sensei is, he's the one who created One Piece, one of the most popular manga in Japan currently. The fan speculation basically is that Obata and Oba created Nizuma to kind of represent Oda and kind of make him a rival in the story as he is an arrival in real life to the two of them. This to me blew my mind when I read this fan theory, and on the wiki page, I will link this in the description, kind of lists a lot of the similarities between the two characters. And for me personally, I think it's legit. We know a lot of the mangaka do have that kind of rivalry or competitiveness between them. So to me personally, this just made the Nizuma character even better. Easily the best character in the series. Debate me if you think otherwise. Now, we get to the difficult part. For me, this is probably the part I was not looking forward to doing. Now, when it comes to art, I'm not the best critic in the world. And I sometimes lack the words to accurately describe fantastic artwork when I see it. That's just me. But I'm going to do my best here because the artwork that Obata creates, it's always fantastic. And it does not change here in the Bakuman series. Obata's artwork matches the more lighter tone of the series. Now, this is quite different to Death Note, which relied on darker tones, elements with its artwork. Now, if you've seen Death Note, the character designs are quite similar. I'll show some comparisons. There are some differences, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to see it. With Bakuman, I find they have a lot more of a cartoony vibe to them. Now, this doesn't take away anything from the characters in Bakuman, but I did think that it made them more memorable, and at times their expressions were drawn in ways just so hilarious. There's one particular image I want to show. Again, this did not take away from them. It in no way makes Bakuman a worse series. No way. Now, as usual, one other thing I want to talk about with Obata's artwork are the backgrounds. They're always top-notch, every single time, and the tiny details, I'll show a panel, the tiny details that he lays throughout the artwork, or the panels, and that is just fantastic. I really do appreciate the dedication and time that goes into making artwork like that. Again, top-notch. Another good note about the artwork is that it keeps the consistency throughout the series if you are going to read the manga, right from chapter 1, chapter 176, keeps that consistency up all the way through. In terms of the anime, now obviously some people think that, and it does happen, and that Berserk is a very classic example of, great artwork in a series. They bring it over to the anime, and it's dog shit. Well, again, have no fear. JC Staff, very reputable producing company, blow it out the park. Absolutely fantastic. They easily carry over a lot of the details, the great character designs to the anime, and they do a fantastic job. So if you're worried about the anime is let down in that capacity, don't. JC Staff do a fantastic job. Fantastic job. As mentioned before, again with JC Staff, they do a great job on the voice acting. The OST, the openings, they do a great job. Now, to be fair, I did find that the openings are not as visually striking as some openings you'll see. That just happens. Probably another critique I have is that the OSTs are very bland. Actually, I don't remember the OST, so I'm being completely honest with you, and that is a little disappointing, that they don't stand out in a way that really can be memorable to you and you want to re-listen to them. Unfortunately, that's not the case with Bakuman here. I guess another critique with the series. Again, we'll go to probably the one thing that everyone loves. Openings and endings. It's always my favourite thing when a new anime comes out. I'm sure it's yours. In terms of the openings, for me personally, there's only to me two standouts that really caught my eye, and that was opening 2 and opening 3. I forget the names. I should look it up, but I'm a lazy prick. I'm sorry. But again, the endings, don't remember anything about them either. Very disappointing endings. Nothing really stood out there for me personally, but that's just my opinion. You might have had a different experience. That's just me. Overall, well, Bakuman for me is, on rewatching it, it's not a perfect series. What is a perfect series? I'd like to meet it. I like to read it, sorry. Well, but it easily holds up. It really does. In terms of manga and anime, it holds up in both capacities. For the series that, uses a lot of the similar tropes or the principles shown in manga, the friendship, effort, and victory, and striving for one's dream in life, Bakuman is one of the best in the business, and for me personally, is one of the best shonen manga on offer. I rate the series a 9 out of 10. Hopefully I'll have an image up with the 9 out of 10 score. I want to get to the thank yous. Oh, there goes my phone. I apologize. If you've reached the end of this video, I really do appreciate you listening to the end, and hopefully you'll be able to offer me critique or constructive criticism. I do appreciate it because I do want to get better at this. This is my first ever video I've ever made. I am nervous. I don't know if you can tell in my voice. My editing skills are not that great. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with my videos and what type of videos I'm going to make. So again, if any advice you have, please let me know in the comment section. It'd be greatly appreciated. And well, I think that's all that's left to say. I hope this has convinced you to go watch Bakuman if you haven't seen it, or read it, whatever your fancy is. Hopefully you'll come see my next video. You'll subscribe and see my next video. That'd be really cool if you do that. Yeah, this is the Tamer. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that name or not. Wishing you the best, and looking forward to seeing you next time. Adios.